Hi, this is Julianne Price with Life Edit and Design, and this is video number 3 in our 3-part series on how to tell a story using your planner. And this is for an aspirational goal style planner. So if you haven't watched the first 2 videos, go back and watch them. Otherwise, you have no idea what I'm talking about. So in the first video, you decided which story you were going to tell. And in the second video, you decided on what are some of the habits of that person. The state of being that you want to be, what are some of the habits of that person, and you wrote down some ideas of some habits, some things that they might be doing that again lead back to those beliefs. What do they have to believe to have that habit? And those together are what is going to create this life that gets you from where you are to this state of being, this person, this aspiration that you want to be. And isn't that the goal of life? I mean, it's just such a wake-up call to be thinking, so much of our life we're spending just busy, doing, spending all our life in that functional planner, right? The planner being the metaphor of that's how you live your life. It's from one to-do to the next to-do, from one appointment to the next thing, from the birthday party to the errand list to getting the kids. We spend our life so busy that we never step back and say, wait, who is it I want to be? One of your story might be, I just want to be a happy person. And you might be telling the story of how you get from where you are now to a happy person, to somebody who has a day full of things that bring them joy. So we don't do that, right? We just spend so much time in the grind to step back and tell this story is just such a cool thing. And that's, planners are so powerful, and people don't realize that it takes a plan to get from A to B, right? And we all think about project planning and, putting down all the to-dos to make a project. We're not building a birdhouse, we're building a life. And in order to build a life, it's, the materials and the instructions, they don't come in a nice, easy package. We have to think them up. We have to create them. You don't just live a happy life because you snapped your fingers and said, I want to be happy, so I'm going to be happy. You have to work on it. It's actually not something that's just going to come to you. It's not something that you can just wish your way into. You actually have to take actions that cause happiness, and you have to plan to have those actions. If you never take a plan, like say you make a list of all the things that make you happy. That's one of the things I have in my functional plan right now is a list of all the things that make me happy. I have to schedule them. I have to put them into my day. If you never take the time to do that, how can you ever go from a person who has a very busy, hectic, grinding lifestyle to a person who has a happy, joyful lifestyle? You're never going to get there by wishing it. You have to actually schedule it in. And that's why telling the story is so cool, because it gets you out of your functional planner, gets you out of the day-to-day, and gets you thinking, all right, if I want to be this person over here, I have to plan it. I have to take actions. I have to actually do things to get me to that person that I want to be over there. So you have this list of habits. So what are we going to do now? So now we have to create the plan. And so that's where your planner comes in. So you want 2 types of planning, and most planners have this, whether they're digital or paper. You need a big picture view and a more details drilled down view. So that could be your monthly view and your weekly views, or it could be your weekly views and your daily views. I like to do the monthly and the weekly. For me, that's just what works for me. And you need that big picture because you want to be able to track, the tracker piece is more on your big picture, and the story piece is more in the details. So think of it this way, when you open up your monthly planner, you should be able to see, using like icons, symbols, colors, any kind of key you want to create, where you're doing your habits, where are you on track. And then the details tells you why you were on track, why you're off track, what's working for you. So the details are really where you're going to do it. So let's take a set of habits. So we're going to stick with the wellness theme. So maybe the wellness, you've decided that a person who is healthy eats the fruits and veggies, right? And drinks water. We're going to use those because they're very easy. And you can think about, they're things you can relate to. So you're going to look and decide, okay, well, in order for me to get to a goal of some kind of water, I just want to drink more water. So what I'm going to do is swap out a soda for water. So then you're going to create a little icon, a symbol, something, a water bottle, whatever. This is where you can use stickers if you want to, but you don't have to. And you're going to track all the days on the monthly view that you did that, all the days that you swapped one soda and drank water instead. And just give yourself whatever that symbol. Maybe it's a blue star. So every time you have a blue star, that means you drank water instead of soda. And then maybe for the first month, that's all you do, and you look at it and you say, okay, I'm ready to progress. So now I'm going to go for soda-free days. So maybe you started by just by capturing how, drinking 1 thing of water. But in the next month, your key changes, and the next month is going to be soda-free days. And so now I get a pink star for every soda-free day, and that's what you're tracking in the next month. So you want that big picture view because it's going to start to tell the story of what you're tracking and how well you're doing with it. Maybe you believe that a person who is healthy is somebody who moves more. So don't go with that 10,000 steps. I'm telling you right now, they've actually done studies, and 10,000 steps a day is not ideal. They actually figured it was 8,000 steps. And I forget the study, I wish I could remember, but there was a study, and that's what they came up with. But for some reason, everybody decided to go with 10,000, and that became the marketable one that is out there, but really it's 8,000. But look at where you are. Do a week and say, for the first week of my planner, I'm going to do a baseline. How much do I move a day? And my goal is to add 10%. So you track for week 1, you track how much you're moving with your any kind of tracker. And then the next week you decide, okay, what's 10% more? And you just start tracking that, and you can either write down the steps on your monthly planner, or you can just do a star for every time you did that 10% more. And what I like is, again, on the monthly view, to be more the icons, to say, okay, here's, I give myself a red star for every time I hit my walking steps goal. And on your weekly pages, which is showing your day by day, then you can write down the actual steps. Because again, we're telling a story. So you want to see, where did I begin and where did I end? So the monthly view is for you to see if you're on track, to see how many times you're hitting your goals. And that's where you're using stickers, icons, stars, colors, whatever. But on the details is where you're going to really tell the story. So there you're saying, maybe I had, the first month I had 3 sodas and 1 water today. And then the next month you're like, I had, 3 waters, no soda, 3 waters, no soda. And then, oops, I had a soda here, but it was just with lunch. And then down the journal, you're talking about, I went out with my friends and everybody was ordering soda. And so I wanted it. I really wanted it. And tomorrow I'll go back. So the weekly pages or your daily pages are really telling the story, the nitty-gritty details. I walked this far. I did this many steps. It was raining out, and I felt really good because even despite the rain, I went out for a walk. And then you're going to give yourself encouragement. So that's the storytelling. So on your weekly pages, you're going to want to track more in detail. So you might want to go by ounces if you're doing water. You might want to go by steps if you're doing movement. You might want to go what you did for your workout. If you're working out, you might want to write down your actual workout routine. I did X on the treadmill. I lifted so many weights. Whatever it is, you're going to maybe track the details. But on the monthly page, it's just whether you did it, yes or no. So if you want to think about it like that way, it's a yes, no. You're tracking yes, no, but on the detail pages, you're tracking actually what you did. Maybe you're tracking, on the monthly page, you get a green star if you ate some fruit and veggies, but on the next page, on your detail page, you're talking about, I had a serving with breakfast and a serving with lunch, or I had, maybe you want to say, I'm going to start meatless Mondays. So in your tracker, you're doing a star for your meatless Mondays, but on your detail pages, you're talking about maybe what the menu was, what did you eat, and then you're reflecting on it down below. So the journal piece is very important. Did you like it? Did you feel good that you ate it? Was it something you want to do again? So maybe you're going to start to create a list of all the Meatless Monday recipes that you have, and you'll start to put them into rotation. And then maybe, if you're somebody who says, I want to eat more fruits and veggies, so you start with just Meatless Mondays. And then later on you say, okay, now I want to have I'm going to change up my pizza. So I have pizza on Friday, but now I'm going to load it up with veggies instead of meats. You're going to be telling the story. How can I keep getting to this goal in a way that works for me, in a way that fits with these beliefs that I'm starting to grow? And those detail pages are really going to be the story part. So you got the big picture view in your monthly, and come up with an icon. And I suggest writing it down if you have a margin or in the bottom, what your key is, because you're going to go back later and go, what does that blue star mean? I don't remember. So you want to have a little key at the bottom that says what each thing means, because it may change as you go throughout your journey. As you're going to start to say, okay, I've got that conquered. I'm not tracking soda-free days anymore because I've got it. I'm only going to track the days where I drink a soda. I don't need to track the days I don't. So the blue star might have meant something in the first couple of months, and now the blue star means I drank a soda, and you see that, whoop, you look at your monthly view, wow, I only had 2 sodas the whole month. And that's how you finish out your journey on that particular habit, is you realize, okay, now I feel I'm soda free because look at this, I have 3 months in a row where I had 1 or 2 sodas the entire month, something like that. Or you say, okay, I've got Meatless Mondays down as part of my routine now, I'm not gonna track that, so now I'm gonna start tracking servings of vegetables on days other than Monday. whatever it is, you're going to evolve. The story's going to change. You may decide, I didn't like tracking that water. It was such a headache, and I'm not doing that anymore. So I'm going to track something else that I believe is more healthy for me. Maybe water doesn't give you the results. Or maybe it's become such a habit. You get up every morning and you have a glass of lemon water, and you don't need to track it anymore because it's become a habit. It's become part of who you are. I used to track days where I do this melt routine, which is, it's by Suze Hitzman. I don't remember Hinman. But anyway, the melt method, if you want to look it up, MELT method. And I used to track the days that I did it, but I don't track it anymore because I do it every single day. Every morning I get up, it's part of my routine, and so I don't need to track it anymore. I have this belief that it reduces inflammation. I have the proof that I feel better, and so I don't need to track it anymore because it's become part of my lifestyle. So that's the journey that we're going to be telling is, how do you get from this person to this person, so that when you are this person, it's no longer work. It's a habit, it's part of who you are. You no longer need to work on it, and then you can go tell another story. So what you're going to do now is look at your planner, whether it's digital or paper, and start to say, okay, what am I going to track? What symbols am I going to use? Am I going to use stickers? Again, digital stickers work just as well as paper stickers. If you're doing digital planning, you can do color coding. You can just, whatever you want, icons, circles, stickers, stars, whatever works for you. So that's going to be on your monthly view, is regularly kind of your tracker, your yes, no tracker. Did you do it or did you not do it? And then on your daily pages, you're going to tell the story. So you're going to get into the details of each thing that you're tracking. And you're also going to reflect, make sure, and this is what I love about planners, especially if you're using a paper planner, is you only have, so big a box, right, to journal. So that'll keep your journal entries focused. You don't go into a long tirade. If you really, really want to go into deep something, then pull out your regular journal and journal in there. And you might want to say, see my journal on such and such a page. But you really want to keep your journaling brief, and say you went on vacation, maybe, and you had nothing tracked for that whole week, then you can just do a nice little paragraph and put pictures. I was on vacation and it just didn't make sense for me to incorporate my habits, or maybe you did incorporate your habits and your movement goals were off the roof because you were constantly hiking, you were out doing stuff, and so you want to tell the story. Why was this week so different from the other weeks? What was going on? Were you sick and did everything fall off because you were sick? Did you have to travel for work and you just couldn't do things the way you wanted to? Give yourself grace. Don't beat yourself up. If something doesn't work out the way you want to, you could pick back up next week if it's working overall. If it's not working at all, then you want to change it. And that's the story that you're telling. That's the cool part. So be journaling, as often as you can. If you can do it every day, great. There's going to be days where you can't, and you put a sticker there. Or you explain later, you go back and say, hey, I was in a bad place, I didn't feel good, and so I didn't journal that week. So what? This isn't perfection. This is a story. This is a journey that you're going to tell. And I think it's a really, really cool thing. So I'm going to do a flip through. I've just started my wellness journal, so I can't flip through yet because there's nothing to show you yet. And one thing I would recommend, and this is what I'm finding as I'm doing it, is you might want to start with some junk pages. If it's digital, it's good. You can always add a new page. But if you're using a physical paper planner, you might want to just start with something that you can kind of mess up with, play around with. Maybe grab an old planner where the dates are all wrong, but there was just some blank pages that you want to use. Because you want to get the hang of it. The only way to get the hang of it is to do it. And say, okay, I'm going to track this and this, maybe 2, 3 things. Don't go crazy. Don't track 20 things. That's going to overwhelm you. 2 or 3 things, 1 story. So in the beginning, I told you to come up with a couple of stories, but right now you're only going to do 1 story because you can layer on the other stories, right? The thing about wellness is it doesn't take you the entire day to do wellness, right? So you don't need to do 24/7 wellness. But in the beginning, just focus on that, because too much journaling at the end of the day and too much tracking at the end of the day gets a little bit of it's going to be something that's a burden, and you're like, I don't feel like doing this. I don't want to journal. I just want to go to bed. So start slowly. Tell 1 story to begin with. Track just a few habits. Make it so simple. Make sure, create your area. Make sure your supplies are right there. So if you're using stickers, the one thing I love about digital is you just need your iPad, which of course isn't handy right now, but you just need your iPad and everything's right there. iPad and your pencil, make sure they're charged, and you're good to go. Whereas if you're doing a paper planner, you might have some more supplies. You might have glue sticks, you might have your printer, you might have your stickers and your highlighters and your pens, and you just need more paraphernalia when you're doing paper planning. But that's okay, you could do both, whichever works for you. I love digital planning, but I love paper planning sometimes too. And I think my wellness journal is going to be on paper to begin with. Just, the one thing I like about when you're trying to tell a story is I think it's a little bit easier to tell the story on a paper planner that you can flip through. For me, I don't know, I want that tangible. I want to be able to touch it. Where the digital planner, I love doing for some things, like for my cleaning tracker, I love using my digital planner because I'm not telling so much of a story. But when I'm telling the story, I'm kind of thinking I want to be on paper. So my flip through, when we get to it, is going to be on paper. And again, back to my original thought was, start with something you can mess up. Even start with a piece of notebook paper and draw squares for what you want to do, and do that for a few days just to get the hang of it. And then you can go to your paper planner for real. Or you can start in your paper planner if you're the kind of person who doesn't mind having pages that are just like, wow, what was I thinking here? And then you get your rhythm going. So it's going to take you a week or two to decide. You might start by tracking certain things and realize, wow, that was way too much. Back it down. Or if maybe you want to track just one thing until you get the hang of it, and then you're going to layer on. You got to do what's right for you. Just because I'm telling you one thing in this video doesn't mean that that's the only way to do it. So layer on, or start bigger and pare down and find the things that really make the impact for you. What are the things that really make you feel like this person that you want to be? If you're somebody who maybe wants more confidence, maybe you're taking pictures of how you look each day, like a wardrobe picture, because maybe you want to feel good about your body, so you need to get in the habit of taking pictures. Maybe you want to learn something. So maybe you want to say, I'm going to learn, I want to feel better about the body, and it's not so much about the weight. So I'm going to take pictures of my outfits, and I'm going to learn how to accessorize better. So I'm going to start looking for better accessories, ways of pairing them up, and I'm going to take a picture. Or maybe I want to learn how to do my eye makeup differently. Maybe I feel like a healthy person just has that vibrant glow, and so I'm going to focus on the things that give me the vibrant glow. So I might focus on hydration for the water, but I might also focus on how I do my makeup better, or how I do my hair differently, or maybe I want to spend more time on my hair, and that will make me feel better and make me feel like a healthier person. There's so many layers to this and so many different things you can try. So one of the things you might even want to do is go out on Pinterest or Google Images, and as you're thinking about this person, what do they look like? And be collecting pictures, pinning pictures or whatever, and kind of look back at the themes and say, okay, I really feel that a person who's healthy is somebody who's always wearing like a light lip gloss. I don't know, just coming up with something. And they have kind of a minimalist makeup look, and I feel that that's very healthy. And so you want to learn that. So maybe you're in your planner, you're taking pictures of your attempts to create this face, this look that you're looking for, and you're taking pictures and putting those in your planner as part of your story. Those are just such cool things. The possibilities are endless. And with a digital planner, you just snap a photo and paste it into your planner. So I really do like digital planning for the ease of having everything in one spot. So I hope I've given you a lot of ideas. Write to me if you have questions. And then, as I said, once I have enough data to start giving you a flip through, I want to do maybe about 3 months of a flip through so that you can start to look at the story that I'm telling and how it's coming together. But I will share some pages here and there along the way just to give you an idea. So that'll be in the blog, and you'll see those posts there. So I hope that you enjoyed this series. If you are just stumbling across this, make sure you go to Life Edit and Design and sign up for the newsletter, the VIP Club. I give plenty of coupons, and also it gives you a chance to get these videos so you don't miss some of these great projects that we come up with. So as promised, I will be doing a video on how I work out, and why everybody's doing it wrong at Planet Fitness and why it drives me crazy. So stay tuned for that video, and I hope you have a great day, and share your stories with me. Let me know, what's the story you're going to tell? What are some of the habits you're going to track? I would love to hear it, and send me photos of your pages. I'd love to see them. All right, that's it for today. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.